It is a case that plunged into new depths of depravity, according to the judge, as he jailed the former Lost Prophets singer Ian Watkins for 35 years for a series of child sex offences. Watkins admitted 13 charges, including the attempted rape and sexual assault of a small child, as the judge told him any decent person would experience shock, revulsion and incredulity at his crimes. 2 women, mothers of the children who were abused, were also jailed. Our Home Affairs correspondent Davies was in court.
As the police now probe far beyond the UK, trying to map the true scale of this man's crimes, it was left to the judge in the case today to articulate the gravity of the offences they know about. He and the 2 women alongside him had plumbed new depths of depravity, said the judge. Many here, he said, will have heard many horrific cases. This, however, breaks new ground. Your total sentence, he addressed Watkins, is one of 35 years. As Mr. Justice Royce handed down the sentence, someone in the public gallery said, "Wow." Another clapped, and then moments later, a woman stood up and started shouting abuse at Ian Watkins. The former Lost Prophets singer, who was caught with more than 90 indecent photos of children, videos of extreme pornography, images of bestiality. The man who in April last year at this hotel attempted to rape on camera an 11-month-old boy, with the boy's mother present and encouraging him. The man who would months later encourage another young mother over Skype to abuse her own young daughter for him, amidst talk of him wanting the little girl to take crack cocaine.
He's the most dangerous child sex offender I've ever met, because he shows no emotion, he shows no sympathy, he shows no guilt, and in this case the evidence is overwhelming.
His barrister said he was ashamed and appalled by what he'd done, unable to recall some of it due to drugs. But such claims of remorse rang hollow after the prosecution today relayed the contents of 2 phone calls he'd made from prison just days after pleading guilty. In one, he says to the woman he's called that he wants to put out a public statement, just to say it was mega lols, I don't know what everyone is getting so freaked out about. Lols is often construed as meaning laugh out loud. Mega lols, a phrase used by his band while they were touring. When the woman suggested that she wasn't sure that this was the right statement, he replied, "No, it's just lols now." He sat at the end of the dock, in silence, hair neatly styled, the suit 3-piece. And along from him the 2 mothers, heads bowed, one sentenced to 14 years in prison, the other 17 years. They can't be named to protect their children's identities. It's not possible, said the judge, to assess what psychological harm those children will suffer from such a betrayal. Earlier, barristers for the 2 women offered their brief portraits. There was the young mother who, it was claimed, allowed herself to be taken into the darkest of places, desperate to keep Watkins the man whom she'd become infatuated with. Then there was the other young woman who had a personality disorder, it was stated, the exceptionally lonely fan who became hooked on the excitement of the life and attention Watkins appeared to be showering upon her. Should Ian Watkins have been stopped before getting to these women and their children is now proving an increasingly awkward question for South Wales Police and others. Last night, a former partner of Watkins told us she reported him at least 8 times over 4 years to various forces before his arrest. And today, the police watchdog, the IPCC, confirmed they'd now identified as many as 5 forces who since 2009 had passed on information about Watkins to South Wales Police.
We know that the public has key questions about whether this man could have been brought to justice earlier. We have those questions as well, and we will robustly and rigorously and thoroughly investigate till we get to the bottom of it.
As Watkins was driven away from court today, South Wales Police announced they're now liaising with other forces across the United States and Germany, trying to trace any other victims. But they know one day they'll have to explain publicly what really happened when those earlier reports about this man were being made.